So we are going to take what we learned last week, and we're just going to add one step to this. And the one step is going to be you finding the common denominator. Instead of me giving you the common denominator, now you are going to have to come up with it. Another word for common denominator is least common multiple. Do you guys know what multiple means? Multiplication. So if we take negative 3/8 and add 1/6 to that, in order to be able to combine these rational numbers, we have to have a common denominator. We need to find the least common multiple. Some of you right now can look at it and just be like, oh, I know what it is. Okay, but there's also a lot of people in here that do not know what the least common multiple of 8 and 6 is. So let me show you a technique on how to find the least common multiple, aka common denominator, every single time. Start out with our denominators. We have a 6 and we have an 8. And like Alex said, multiple means multiplication. So what's 6 times 1? What's 6 times 2? What's 6 times 3? What's 6 times 4? What's 6 times 5? What's 6 times 6? All right, let's stop there and see if we can get a match. If we don't get a match, we're going to have to keep going. 8 times 1? 8 times 2? 8 times 3? 8 times 4? 8 times 5. Did we get a match somewhere? 24 is our match. So that means 24 is our least common multiple, which means that 24 is our common denominator. Now, to figure out what to put in the numerator, we have to figure out what we multiplied 8 by to get 24. Dustin. Yes, please. 3. 8 times 3 is 24. Now, because we multiplied the denominator by 3, you have to multiply the numerator by 3. And what's negative 3 times 3? Micaiah? Now, what did we multiply the 6 by to get 24? 4. 6 times 4 is 24. Because we multiplied the denominator by 4, we have to multiply the numerator by 4. And 1 times 4 is 4. And now we are right where we were last week. So that was this is like the extra step. And now all we have to do is put 24 in the denominator. Negative 9 plus 4. We're not doing keep inverse inverse. We're not doing keep change change because it's already an addition sign. So we have to keep it. Can't touch this. Four positives cancel out with 4 negatives. So what's going to be remaining, Faith? 5 negatives. Negative 5. Very good. So again, we're doing the same thing we did last week. It's just we have a step prior that we have to figure out. We just have to find the common denominator, and then we're right back where we were last week. And everybody did a very good job on their test. So if we can find common denominators, I think we'll be all set. So for number 2, we're going to do 4/5 minus, whoops, sorry about that. Now it's supposed to be 3/4. 4/5 minus negative 3/4. So to find the common denominator, we're going to find the least common multiple. If you already know what the common denominator is, you can omit this step. You don't have to do this. But if you need to figure out what the common denominator is, you need to do this step. 4 times 1, 4 times 2, 4 times 3, 4 times 4, 4 times 5, 4 times 6. 5 times 1, 5 times 2, 5 times 3, 5 times 4, 5 times 5, and I spotted our common multiple. So 20 is going to be our common denominator. Now, what did we multiply 5 by to get 20? 5 times 4. Because we multiplied the denominator by 4, we have to multiply the numerator by 4. 4 groups of 4, 16. Four times blank is 20. 4 times 5. Because we multiplied the denominator by 5, we have to multiply the numerator by 5. And what's negative 3 times 5? Now notice what we have. It says 16 minus negative 15. Now we're going to do the keep inverse inverse. And you guys should know that if I take away all the negatives, what's left? Just positives. So we're doing 16 plus 15 over 20. Keep change, keep inverse inverse. Taking away a group of negatives leaves us with just positives. 16 and 15 is 31. And 31 twentieths as a mixed number. 1 and 11 twentieths. For number 3, we're going to do negative 1/9 minus Negative 5/3. Negative 1/9 minus negative 5/3. Our denominators are a 9 and a 3. We could just multiply 9 times 3 and get 27. And that would be one of our common denominators. But what would we have to do with our answer, Josh? Yeah, we'd have to simplify at the end. We could use 27. We could use 18. But what's the least common multiple? Seth. What is the smallest multiple that 9 and 3 can both divide into? Brooke? 9 is the correct answer. Nine times 1 is 9. So because we multiplied the denominator by 1, we have to multiply the numerator by 1. And negative 1 times 1 is negative 1. Three times 3 is 9. Because we multiplied the denominator by 3, we have to multiply the numerator by 3. And 5 times 3 is? So 9 is our common denominator. 9 is our least common multiple. Keep, change, keep, inverse, or think of it this way. We're getting rid of all of the negatives. We're getting rid of a fee. We're getting rid of debt. What happens to 2 negatives? Makes 2 positives. So we have negative 1 plus 15. And what's negative 1 plus 15? Austin? 14 is correct. And 14/9 is equivalent to 1 and 5/9. Any questions so far? Any questions on how we're finding the common denominator or how we're finding the numerator? No? Okay. Let's try this one. Let's go 1/4 minus 5/6. Denominator is 4 and 6. What is the smallest multiple, the smallest factor, I should say. No, not factor. Smallest multiple. The smallest digit that 4 and 6 can be divided into. Alex. 12 is correct. Could we have used 24? Yes. Could we have used 36? Yes. Could we have used 72? Yes. It's just we would have had a higher chance of having to simplify at the end. By choosing the smallest multiple, you are decreasing your chances of having to simplify greatly. There is a great chance that you will not have to simplify by choosing the least common multiple. So what number, Maddie, should I put in the numerator? 1/4 is equivalent to how many twelfths? 3/12 is correct. Selena, 5/6 is equivalent to how many twelfths? 2? No. It's not 2/12. Sabrina. Five-sixths is equivalent to how many twelfths? Selena just said 2, and we said, no way. Jose. Sierra. 10 is correct. 6 times 2 is 12. 5 times 2 is not 2. 5 times 2 is actually 10. Because we have a subtraction problem, we're going to do keep, inverse, inverse. Three positives cancel out with 3 negatives, leaving us with a grand total of, Alexis. Nope. The answer is not 7/12. Josh. Three positives cancel out with 3 negatives, leaving us with 7 negatives altogether. All right, I'm going to give you guys 2 problems to see how we do on our own. If most of us do a fairly well job with this, then I'll give you guys your 6 problems to do for homework. And you guys can work in groups. But I'd like to practice a couple on our own.
What if we do bad?
If we do bad, then we're going to do more practice problems. We're just going to keep walking through step by step by step till we can get it. Let's see. 7/8 minus 4/9. Negative 2/5 minus 5/6. All right, I'll give you guys about 4 minutes to work on these. remember to set up a least common multiple table if you can't figure out what the common denominator of 8 and 9 is. So everybody except one person got the common denominator for number 5, which is really, really good. That's a tough one. All right, what this requires you to do is, you have to do the least common multiple table, or what you could do is just do 8 times 9. And what's 8 times 9? 72. And because we multiplied these denominators together, we did 8 times 9. So because we did 8 times 9, we have to do 7 times 9. We did 9 times 8. So now we have to do 4 times 8. And our answer is 31/70 seconds. And those of you that got to number 6 did a really good job finding that common denominator. 5 and 6 is 30. Yeah. Since we multiplied the denominator by 6, it requires us to multiply the numerator by 6. Because we multiplied the denominator by 5, we have to multiply the numerator by 5, and we get 25. And we'll do keep inverse, inverse. We're going to add this time because the signs are the same. And we get -1 and 7/30. So I'm going to give you guys 6 problems right now to work on for practice. You're allowed to work in a group or work with a partner on this. They're not going to be that difficult. And once you get those copied down, please partner up with someone. Find the common multiples, find the common denominators, the least common denominators. And then apply what you remember from last week's assessment, and you guys should be fine with this. And this will be due tomorrow, and we'll check them. We'll have 6 people go to the board.